Welcome back. It's time for our seasonal coverage of 春节 2019. 春节, the Spring Festival, or the Chinese New Year, is the most important traditional holiday for the Chinese people. CGTN will bring you insights into the world's biggest travel rush, the customs and celebrations, all in our special coverage, China on the Move. You can also watch the live feed of this special segment on our new media website, or follow us through other social media platforms with hashtag Spring Festival Rush. Now, during the 40-day travel rush from January 21st to March 1st, hundreds of millions of Chinese will return to their hometown for family get-togethers. Nearly 3 billion trips are expected to be made during the rush, and the total length covered will exceed 1.2 billion kilometers, roughly for one person to make 4 trips to the sun and back. The vast majority of those will be by road, but journeys by train are expected to increase by 8% and reach 400 million. Now this year, some 60% of train journeys will be made by high-speed rail. And this year, air travelers are expected to make 73 million trips, up 12% year-on-year. Well, the journey home isn't always easy, but happy family reunions make the effort worthwhile. To find out what some of those trips are like, my colleague Jeff Moody took a train from Beijing to Zhengzhou, the capital of Henan province, and Omar Khan is on the road from Beijing to the town of Xinyang in the same province. Now, earlier, Jeff Moody has arrived in Zhengzhou, the capital of Henan province, after traveling by high-speed train from Beijing. He traveled around 700 kilometers for 2.5 hours. He was on a mission to find out what it was like to be a part of the world's largest annual human migration. Well, Zhengzhou is a major transport hub in central China. It has the largest marshalling station and the largest transfer post in the country.
When CGTN said to me, Jeff, we'd like you to put yourself at the heart of the biggest rush hour in the world, I have to confess I was dreading it a little bit because I don't like crowds, really. I'm not very good at queues and I'm a bit impatient, and my Chinese, as you know, is not particularly impressive. So I was a bit dreading this, but I have to say Chinese efficiency is incredible. From the moment I got to the train station this morning to the moment I'm standing here right now, I've never been involved in a queue, I've never been involved in a crowd. It's just been so smooth. It's quite incredible how they've managed to process so many people, funnel them into one particular area where they can wait. I mean, look at this platform now. There's nobody on here at the moment, but as soon as the train sweeps into the station, all of the people that are in waiting rooms upstairs will all be sort of funneled down here and put onto the train, and out they go. The efficiency is just incredible.
Jeff Moody there. Now let's travel back in time to see China's road and rail networks. What was it like 10 years ago? My colleague Omar is still on the road traveling from Beijing to the town of Xinyang in Henan province by car with the couple Luo Shixin and his wife Wang Huihui. Luo has been working in Beijing for 7 years as an operation engineer, and Wang joined him 2 years ago after they got married. Now she's now 3 months pregnant. And let's go talk to Omar. Great to see you there, Omar. Bring us up to date where you are right now. We understand you've been driving since 6 a.m. this morning, haven't you? How's that been?
Charyora, I can only say 6 hours in a car. It's not the greatest experience, but it's the people with me who are making this a really a time that I'm never going to forget. Like you said, we left at 6 a.m. We've been on the road for quite some time. We've taken a few pit stops, and of course, like you mentioned, Shixin and his wife Hui Hui, they've been kind enough to invite CGTN on this journey back to their hometown in Henan, Xinyang. So that's an experience in itself of being with them and getting to know them. But again, it's a bit different from what we saw with Jeff, him sitting on that high-speed rail train, enjoying that journey, whereas we here, we're stuck in this car. Of course, we're rotating drivers. And speaking of rotating our drivers, Shixin was on the road for several hours. Let's see how he's feeling with that. 所以你今天开车大概4个小时了，这段时间你感觉怎么样？你再回去你的老家有什么感受？
这段时间也是随着时间越来越近，然后越来越激动，然后整个今天太阳又比较好嘛，然后整个路上也比较顺，也还是挺顺利的整个过程。
So essentially, a smooth ride so far, and he has this feeling of getting closer and closer to his hometown. So obviously getting a bit more happy as they approach where they're from and their family, of course. And he also mentioned that it's been smooth driving. The traffic has been good. I don't know for our viewers if you can see a shot outside of our vehicle. We've set up this mobile studio, but traffic is moving. It's kind of interesting. We've been talking about this largest human migration, but here I'm out on the road and it's been smooth. Not a single traffic jam, no issues, and that's the biggest shocker for me. Now let's see Hui Hui. As we know, she hasn't been feeling too well. You mentioned earlier, Cho Yuan, that she's 3 months pregnant. Of course, that's we gotta kind of understand her situation, but she's been a trooper. So let's see how she's doing. Hui Hui, 你们回老家，第一个事情你想做是什么东西？
第一个事情是想逗逗我们家小孩儿，然后呢就可以放松的好好休息一下。
好。So of course, going back to see the young ones, the little ones at home, as anyone returning home, that's the first sort of people you want to see. And of course, she said she would like to have some rest. I as well would like to have some rest, but yeah, we have a few more hours. We're just outside of Zhengzhou, so we'll be getting into Xinyang later on tonight. Cho Yuan.
Last week, you were in Guangdong province traveling by motorbike to Guangxi with a migrant worker. Today, you're traveling by car. How do these two Spring Festival travel rush experiences compare?
Yeah, like you said, last week I was on motorbike going from Guangdong all the way to Guangxi. That was a really unique experience. I was on the back of a bike with a 19-year-old migrant worker. That was an incredible story. That was an incredible experience. And in that situation, I really felt that, hey, there's cars whizzing by me. There's so much. That's a big motorbike migration. What happens from Zhaoqing, which is a small town in western Guangdong, and as they move into Guangxi, into neighboring Guangxi. So in that sense, I had more of a feeling of being a part of this Spring Festival travel rush, of this largest human migration. But here, this time around, we've been in a car, and again, we've started so early. And when you're in a car with the same people, you get to kind of know them, you get to chat with them, and you're kind of secluded from everything else happening outside. Mind you, we've made a few stops. We've had a chance to have a meal together, stretch our legs. That's probably the most important thing we've done. But aside from that, it's been more of a quiet migration. Again, we earlier saw Jeff. He was packed on the platforms. The trains were filled. It was a bit more vibrant, a bit more lively. But here it's been calm. Here it's been quiet. And I think we're going to enjoy it if we can maintain this sort of calm feeling as we continue to drive into the night. You see the sun is setting behind me, so just a few more hours of this relaxing drive and we'll be there. So for now, back to you in the studio, Cho Yuan.
Thanks so much, Omar. The traffic looks fine. Hope you guys get home on time. Omar Khan joining us on the mobile studio there. Thank you so much. Now, the country is home to some of the most beautiful scenic landscapes on the planet. While on the open highway, it's hard not to stop and admire the view. These are far and away some of China's most beautiful roads and highways. You can keep up to date on our special Spring Festival coverage on CGTN.com or follow us on all major social media platforms with the hashtag Spring Festival Rush. We'll keep you updated on the road home at 12:15 GMT on China 24, so stay tuned. Much more news ahead right after this. Don't go away.